Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a bird box. This is going to be really good for a winter project that you can do in your garage or at home, and it's going to be really good to do with kids as well because you can cut it all, they can put it all together and then they can paint it. So this bird box, I'm going to actually do 3 of them. They're all going to be the same design, but then the front of them is going to be slightly different depending on what bird you want to attract. So let's look at the tools then. So we have a jigsaw. If you don't have a jigsaw, then it's going to be a little bit difficult. However, you can purchase some hole saws, which is going to be perfect for that. So yes, if you've got some hole saws, that's the best. If not, use a jigsaw. We've got our impact driver and our drill here, classic tools that we need. We've got a square, we've also got a large drill bit, and that's going to be for the holes if you are using your jigsaw. I've got some screws in here. We're going to need some fairly thin screws so you don't break that wood. We've got the square, and then we've got the miter saw. So the miter saw is my favourite tool, and this is what we're going to be using to do all of our cuts on. So I am going to lay all the cuts out on this board, and then I shall show you all the dimensions, and as always everything is written down in the blog. So the first cut I'm going to do is an angle cut. This is the only difficult cut of everything, so it's really simple, this one. So we're just going to measure 200 on one side, like that, and then 250 on the other. So there you go. And then we're going to get our square. This isn't that ideal. Just any straight edge will do for you to join up these 2 points here, like that. So I'm going to clear the bench and get the chop saw set up. To do this angled cut, I have just changed the angle on the miter saw. So I'm just going to bring the saw down and line it up so we're on the right side of the cut line. Let's give that a go then. And look at that, absolutely perfect. Now if I had the sliding miter saw, I could bring this all the way out and do the full cut, but because I haven't, I'm just going to finish this off with the jigsaw. And there you go, we have our side of the bird box. Now we need 2 of these, and this is why all you need to do is put that butt up against there, mark that line there, and then cut that with the chop saw. And that'll give you 2 sides. And now we're going to cut the rest of the panels. So we need one at 200. We're going to need one at 210, and then the last one is going to be 350. Now we've got our panels cut, I am going to put the hole in the front for the birds. So different birds like a different size hole. Some like it completely open in the front, and others, like blue tits, love smaller holes. So I'm going to make a mixture of different bird houses with different holes, so then we can attract as much wildlife as we can here. So I'm just going to measure 125mm up from the bottom, like that. And then we're going to find our middle on here, so that is 144, that is 72, I think. Yeah. So that is the centre. Now, what you can do is you can get your big drill bit, drill all the way through, and then map out a circle and cut that with your jigsaw. The other way to do it is with a hole saw. So this hole saw is 25mm hole saw, and that's going to be perfect for your blue tits. I've got another one that I'm going to do, which is a 32mm. So they're the sort of sizes that you need. So yeah, I'm going to get cracking with this now. There you go, and one hole through there. So we're going to give that a little sand later, so then the birds don't get any splinters. Now I'm going to start screwing mine together. So I'm just going to find out the thickness of my wood, which is 18mm. So we want these roughly 9mm in from the edge. Put one there, one there. This will just need 2 screws in either side. Okay, so I've just grabbed myself a smaller drill bit and we're going to go through in the marks that I just made. The reason why we've done these pilot holes is because we do not want this wood splitting. Even if you do it at the time and it looks fine, over time when the water starts getting into it, it is going to split. So now we've got our pilot holes in, that is not going to happen. Okay, so I have just lined this up so it is all flush on the sides. And we're going to screw this together now. Like that. So that gives us one side. Now we're going to do the same on this side. There you go. It's starting to look like a bird box already. Okay, so this back panel is going to go sort of in the middle. So we've got an overhang top and bottom. So we need to work out where these screws are going to go. So we're going to measure 50mm up. And we're going to do this on the sides of the board this time, and that will mean that you can still see your line. Now when we position that on there, we can make sure that that line is at the bottom of our bird box there. So next we need to measure in our 8mm like we did last time, so we know we're exactly in the centre of our board. And then we're going to do exactly the same as what I did before. We're going to use our drill to go through as a pilot. Got our line there. Bottom. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. We are almost there. We just need a top and a bottom for this now. So the roof is here. Now you can do this 2 ways. You can either screw this in place and then put a weather strip over here, so you can put something like, if you've got an offcut of felt, rubber inner tubes from bikes, if you've got an old one of them, they work perfectly for this as well. Or you can cut this at an angle with your mitre saw, so then it sits nice and flushly in there and no rain's going to get in for your birds. And the other thing we need to do is measure the base. So we need to put a plank of wood on top of here. So measure that. That is going to be our 144, which is what the wood is anyway, and then the depth of this is going to be 160mm exactly. So I'm going to cut that one and then put that on the bottom, and then I shall show you how I'm going to do the roof. Okay, so there we've got our base done. That's going to sit on there like that. So again, all we're going to do is go through with our pilot holes and screw this all together. So that is all done now. So we've got our base on there, and now we're going to do the roof part. So this roof has an overhang, and that's going to stop the water from getting directly into that hole. So now we just need to work out this angle here. An easy way to sort out this angle business is by placing your wood next to it like that, with this bit overhanging ever so slightly. You want it on there like that, and then just mark the wood there. And now that angle is what we want to set our mitre saw to. Okay, so I have just loosened this lever at the back here, and this allows me to move the saw like that. So you want to get your laser level so it's right in line there, and then can you see down here we've got our line that we're going to be going to. So you just want to tip your saw all the way until that laser line reaches that point there, and then tighten it up at the back. Okay, so what I did was I set the mitre saw to 15 degrees, and that has cut my angle perfectly, ready for the box there. So the last thing we need to do is screw that together. So I'm going to take this off the table because we're finished with that now. Grab my box over here. I'm going to do exactly the same as what I've done all the way through, measuring 8mm. Remember, we've got the overhang at the bottom here, so you don't want to put your screws too far down. Pop that on there, and we're going to screw this together. So the last thing we are going to do to this is put some holes at the top and the bottom, and this is going to enable us to screw it onto something like the side of your shed, which I shall show you how to do. So let's just put a pilot drill in here, and then another one at the top here. So this has taken pretty much 20-30 minutes to make. It's super simple, and especially when you've got the dimensions all laid out, you can make loads of these. So yeah, a great project to do over Christmas, and that will give it time for the birds to find out where it is, get acclimatised to it, and then hopefully you'll have some chicks nested in there. So yeah, I'm going to give this a lick of paint now, that'll protect it from the weather, and then I shall show you when I put it up on my shed. Bird boxes are up, so I've taken them home. I have given them a lick of paint to protect them from the elements, and I have put them up on my power shed here. So ideally you want these 2 to 4 meters off the ground, and somewhere where cats and foxes aren't going to be able to easily get. So this one here, that's more for sort of blue tits because you've got the smaller hole here, so that's going to be perfect for them. This one here, which is the open nest box, that is better suited for robins. So I have positioned these quite closely together, but because they're different species that I'm attracting, they shouldn't have any problems nesting next to each other. And then this one has the slightly larger hole at 32mm, and that is great for coal tits, house sparrows, things like that. So yes, all you need to do is screw them to something fixed 2 to 4 meters up from the floor, and also they want to be facing sort of a northeast direction, and that's going to protect it from the midday sun and also those driving rain that we get during the winter and the spring. So yes, this is a perfect job for you to do now. Birds tend to look for their nesting sites in sort of winter time, so if you get it done late autumn, early winter, that is the perfect time. Thank you so much for watching everyone, and I'm looking forward to showing you next month's project.